A surprising and shocking story, you could say, from the Ham and High this week.
Yeah, they have got a proper exclusive on their front page. A lot of people will know, some won't, about the ongoing scandal about haemophiliacs who were infected by contaminated blood and blood products supplied by the NHS during the 1970s and 80s. What they've picked up now is an unearthed recording in which the former director of the Royal Free Hospital it appears to admit to non-consensual blood testing of patients, criticising campaigners. This audio is actually on the Ham and High website if people wish to listen to this. A lot of people are very upset about this. One anonymous victim, just known as Patient B, who contracted HIV and hepatitis C after being given the contaminated products, said it made him feel like a lab rat. He said, "When I was transferred to the Royal Free, it was a piece of meat for their research." The quotes that are recorded from a Professor Christine Lee said, "Every time our patients with haemophilia came, we collected a sample which was stored in our deep freezers. We didn't ask their permission." It's very stark.
And likely only to hear more, one suspects, when that case gets going in about 10 days' time.
Yes, it does. It begins, there's an independent public inquiry into the scandal which begins on September the 24th. There's also, concurrent to that, a group legal action which is currently running through the High Court.
We move on now to London's famous megaphone man in the Camden New Journal.
Yes, indeed. This is a gentleman known as Danny Shine, or more commonly as the Megaphone Man, as you say, who for the past 10 years has devoted his life to standing basically on streets in Camden shouting through a megaphone. He's vowed to stop, as it says here, disrupting public spaces for the foreseeable future, and he's actually sold his loudhailer on eBay after being convicted of a criminal offence. So it's a full decade that he's been addressing crowds around Camden Town, Euston. I've seen him regularly outside one particular high-end supermarket in Finchley Road shouting about capitalism, particularly McDonald's and Coca-Cola and the legal system, the mainstream media. But after he was convicted of using abusive words and disorderly behaviour, he sold his 25-watt megaphone for £215 and says he's hanging up his boots.
He's different, of course, to the winners and sinners megaphone man of Oxford Circus fame, but no doubt will be missed by some.
But not many.
We're heading over to Ilford as a potential cultural quarter. I never thought I'd say those words.
No, this is a splash on the Ilford Recorder. Yes, they say a £7 million cultural quarter will be built in Ilford. This was voted through at a cabinet meeting this week by Redbridge Council. Outdoor food market, artists' studios, interest in businesshood. Half the money will come from the Mayor of London, and it'll be match funded by Redbridge Council with money that they can only spend in this regeneration. I mean, even the person with the most civic pride in Ilford would probably acknowledge that the kind of arts-driven gentrification of East London has not quite inched its way towards that particular part of Redbridge. Be interesting to see how it actually works. They hope to boost the town's nighttime economy, of which there isn't a great deal. 5,000 square metres of commercial space. Now, it's the kind of commercial products that get that commercial space which decide if this really is a cultural regeneration or more shops.
Well, remains to be seen, but an interesting one to keep an eye on. And the final story you've brought us is not your typical local paper story, I think.
It's not. It's some red-hot breaking news about William Shakespeare's father that's been unearthed in the National Archives by a professor from Roehampton University. It's been picked up by the Richmond and Twickenham Times. These are newly discovered documents that concern William Shakespeare's father, John, of whom not a great deal was known. It was known he was a kind of civic dignitary. But apparently, he plunged into financial and legal trouble after being accused of illegal money lending and wool dealing. Don't get involved in illegal wool dealing, whatever you do. And the speculation here that this offers an explanation for Shakespeare's political scepticism and that you see in plays like Macbeth and King Lear. So what kind of radicalised the young William was his dad being accused of illegal wool dealing, it appears.